Welcome to another explainer. Okay, let's just dive right into this. So here's our 5-stop itinerary for today. We'll cover catching the local bus, riding the Italian railways, navigating the airport, enjoying the Italian bar, and finally checking into your hotel. Let's get moving.
Stop number 1, catching the local bus.
Okay, the order of operations here is absolutely crucial. Step 1, you have to buy a ticket before you even set foot on the bus. You usually grab this at an edicola, which is a local newsstand, or sometimes at a cafe. If you try to just buy it on the bus from the driver, yeah, it's going to cost you extra, and that's if they even allow it. Step 2 is actually boarding. But step 3, this is where tourists make a fatal error. You absolutely must validate your ticket using that small, usually yellow machine on board, known as the Macchina Obligatrice. If you just hold on to a blank, unstamped ticket, it doesn't count as a valid fare at all. Now, once you're successfully riding along, keep an ear out for this really essential word, capolinea. This signifies the absolute end of the line. It's where the bus terminates, everyone gets off, and the vehicle turns around for the return trip. You definitely want to know when your bus hits the capolinea, so you know to hop off. Otherwise, you might accidentally go on a joyride all the way back to where you started. Stop number 2, riding the Italian railways. Right, so the most critical point here is summed up perfectly by this cultural warning straight from our sourcebook. Ricordati di obliterare il biglietto prima di salire sul treno. What does that mean? Remember to validate your ticket before getting on the train. Just like with the local bus, you have to find those validation machines. They're usually out on the platform or right by the tracks, and stamp your ticket. If the train controller comes down the aisle and your ticket isn't stamped, no excuses, you're going to get hit with a hefty fine right there on the spot. So once your ticket is actually stamped, what kind of train are you getting on? Well, there's a pretty strict hierarchy of Italian trains, and knowing it tells you exactly what speed and comfort level you're paying for. First, you have the regionale, which is a local, second-class only train that literally stops everywhere. Then the interregionale, connecting nearby cities with both first and second-class options. Stepping up the speed, we get the intercity, a fast train connecting major national hubs, and finally, the top tier, the Eurostar. That's the high-speed premium train, and listen, seat reservations are absolutely mandatory for that one. Knowing these differences will definitely save you time and money. Navigating the station itself means you need to know this word, sottopassaggio. That's the underpass tunnel. See, in Italy, you rarely just walk over the physical train tracks to get to your designated platform, or binario. Instead, you look around for the sottopassaggio signs. Walk down the stairs, go under the tracks, and pop back up safely right at your platform. And hey, if your journey means you have to switch trains halfway there, listen super closely for any announcements regarding a coincidenza. This is your connecting train. The absolute last thing you want is to be caught completely off guard, sitting comfortably on your first train, only to realize you missed your coincidenza 2 towns back. Stop number 3, navigating the airport. 20 kilograms. I cannot stress this enough. This is the magic number when you're checking bags in Italy for standard flights. If your checked luggage is heavier than this, you are almost 100% guaranteed to be hit with an overweight baggage fee right at the counter. So, pack light or just be prepared to open your wallet. So for Mora, the airport security flow is pretty standard, but it does require some specific vocabulary. After handing over his luggage, he gets his carta di imbarco, that's his boarding pass. He's going to guard this with his life before heading over to security, where he'll empty his pockets of all metallic items, keys, coins, belts, and pass through the metal detector. Just make sure to have your passport and your carta di imbarco completely ready for those police checks. Stop number 4, enjoying the Italian bar. Okay, pay attention here because this is quite literally the single biggest cultural gotcha for tourists in Italy. The payment rules change entirely depending on where your body is located in the space. If you just want a quick espresso and plan to stand at the counter, you have to find the register, the cassa, and pay first. Then you take your receipt over to the barista. But if you sit down at a table to enjoy your food or drink, you do the exact opposite. You order from a waiter and you pay after your meal. Now, while you're at that register paying, you might hear the cashier let out a deep sigh and ask you for moneta. Don't panic. They're not trying to charge you more money, they're just asking for coins or small change. Italian cashiers absolutely loathe breaking a €50 bill for a tiny €2 coffee. If they ask for moneta, they are essentially begging you to give them exact change to save their register's cash flow. Our 5th and final stop, checking into your hotel. When you're booking or confirming your room, you need to pay really close attention to these terms. Pensione completa means full board, so all your meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, are included in that price. However, prima colazione means your rate only includes breakfast. Knowing this going in ensures you understand exactly how much food you're actually entitled to, so you don't go hungry or accidentally overpay for meals you aren't eating. Of course, travel isn't perfect. Things don't always go smoothly. Our sourcebook runs Mara through a pretty hilarious string of unfortunate hotel events just to teach us some essential troubleshooting vocabulary. You need to know how to politely complain to the reception desk if the room is too noisy, or troppo rumorosa. Or maybe there's no hot water for your shower, non c'è acqua calda. What if the air conditioning is broken? That's non funziona. Or absolute worst case scenario, if something like a camera actually goes missing from your suitcase, being able to express these specific problems calmly in Italian is going to get them solved so much faster. So let's wrap this all up. Put yourself in Moore's shoes for a second. You have a bus ticket, you definitely paid for it, but you just forgot to validate it in that little yellow machine before the controller checked it. Do you pay the fine? Well, as we learned, a blank ticket is a useless ticket, so yeah, you're paying. But really, it begs a much larger question. If one tiny yellow machine can completely make or break your commute, what other unwritten cultural rules are out there just waiting to surprise you on your next trip to Italy?